So Batman Arkham Knight is over a decade old now, which still doesn't feel real. And I loved playing this game when I did my video a couple years ago, and that was my first time playing it. I just got the sudden urge to check it out again, so here's another up-to-date review now it's been over 10 years. One thing I love about all the Arkham games is how they all take place canonically in one singular night. And it just gives that adrenaline feeling to it where you're under a time constraint, not literally of course, because you can spend hours taking your time, but the overall story and its missions, they're filled with this ongoing problem to solve and puzzle to piece together. If you don't know what the main plot of this entry is, then without major spoilers and also taking into account the other games before this one, where those familiar characters do return, because it's quite clear that you should play at least Asylum and City before this one to get that full experience. So the night it takes place on is actually none other than Halloween, just to emphasize that dark atmosphere you get from the Gotham City setting. So Scarecrow, a major villain of the game, he has his plans to unleash the fear toxin into the city, and that's just one major puzzle to crack down on, trying to piece together how it all started and progresses, but also being mixed with Arkham Knight, who works with Scarecrow and causes even more problems for Batman. Joker still does play a role as well even after the ending of Arkham City, but more so what they try and do to spread his infected blood. I won't say much more. There's even more villains in the way, and some being just in side missions. There's Two-Face, the Riddler, Deathstroke and Penguin, etc. There's also Harley Quinn and Red Hood. They have their own DLC packs. Like I said, I just love the way everything unfolds, and Batman and Alfred and Oracle and Robin, all of them just constantly figuring out each problem with many other villains getting in the way. Some could say certain moments where you do eventually solve a big issue is a bit anticlimactic with that said villain. It felt like some should have a bigger send-off to them, but then again, there's quite a few to fit in the game, and especially one that closes the entire franchise off. It's not like every single feud or boss fight is going to be massive. I guess it also depends on how much you care or look into the history of each antagonist. Regardless of what you think, I think it's safe to say that it does close up the series quite nicely, and I feel like everyone stepped up their game in terms of their performances as well, and their voice acting. They truly stepped up their game when focusing on the combat system as well, and it's definitely my favourite out of the series. It's so fluid and it feels hard hitting. There's lots of experimenting you can do as well by alternating different moves, and very unique looking ones as well, like the use of environment or counter attack. The same with the different finishers. It also helps that they implemented way more variety in the enemy types this time, and they're all, they all have different fighting styles, so even if you, let's say, keep doing the same thing, it doesn't feel that repetitive. And it gets even better when you start testing out the different weapons and gadgets. I did see myself using the Batarang quite a lot. It's simple and effective, and it's quite quick to use, but also helps you take a moment when you're surrounded by enemies as it stuns them. Another returning one being the explosive gel, which is more for exploding blocked or barricaded areas, but there definitely was a few times where I used it on enemies, sometimes by accident. The same with smoke pellets, sometimes I'd throw them by accident, but it really helps escape areas, and mainly in stealth attacks. The line launcher will help you shoot a line between 2 points, and you can use it as a rope to sit on and scout an area out, but also a zip line as well to get somewhere out of reach, not ready for combat. The disruptor is a cool device to hack enemy weapons and sabotage ammo, for example. And there's of course many more weapons and cool gadgets to use and experiment with, most of them being upgradable as well, like the disruptor, and being able to sabotage other areas. The upgrade system can be used towards basically everything, like weapons, the Batmobile, your Batsuit and its combat, and just continues to make you stronger and edit things like health and damage, different takedowns in combat and hacking, and just way more, all using Wayne tech points, which are gained by leveling up. And I suppose this could be said with all the Batman games, but the combat is quite easy to do, and you don't always have to force yourself to try other methods of combat for it to look good. Visually it's going to be amazing to watch either way, and that's what makes fighting so fun, full stop. But the exact same can be said with the overall look of the game. It's an incredible world anyway, and definitely the reason why I had the urge to play it again, simply to be immersed in the Gotham City setting and the incredible visuals. It definitely helps that they emphasise the weather and the time of day. I mean, heavy rain and night sky is a perfect combo, and a great setting to put the lighting and the attention to detail to the test. The raindrops and the wind on Batman's outfit and the wingsuit is so realistic. It's just unreal how well it holds up 10 years later. Still looking incredible compared to some modern day open worlds. Just exploring the setting in between missions never gets old. It just captures that mood and that eerie feeling so well and makes the game for me. The same with traversing around the city in the Batmobile, which is something I'll get into, but so much of the environment is destructible, apart from proper buildings of course, but stuff like the rubbish and the fences, trees, etc. They all smash and fly all over the place when you go through them at a full speed in a chase. Just so satisfying to watch. And again, the feeling of Gotham being taken over and seeing how it's become, the fires and the rubble all over the city, the riots, the slums, and going back to all those effects going on when you crash through everything at high speeds. The game still held up fine, and I was playing on PC. I never experienced any big frame drops or hitching, stuff like that. I know it had awful issues at launch on PC and it got taken down off Steam until it was fixed. Now in terms of the Batmobile, this is always an area that comes up when people do criticise the game, and I can see why, because it honestly just depends on who you are and your personal preference, because I wouldn't say there's too much Batmobile. I just think it's clear that it's a big change in terms of traversing and combat, where no matter how much you use it, it's always going to have a big difference compared to the other games not having them at all. So for me, I wouldn't say it's too much, but let's say you're someone that didn't like the Batmobile mechanics for whatever reason, this is of course going to change their way they view the game. For me, I didn't mind it. The traversing was fine and it always is going to be fun going through Gotham at high speeds, like I mentioned. In the combat, it is quite satisfying when you take other tanks down and explode them, but it did quickly become more like, oh finally, when you took them down later in the game. You do sometimes get so surrounded and it's just waves of these tanks, and it's not like the missiles are rapid fire or anything, nor do the tanks get taken down in one hit, especially if you don't have max upgrades. For someone that didn't love it nor hate it, I agree it did become repetitive, so if anyone despises the Batmobile, then yeah, it will have a bigger effect on the game as a whole. But that's all I have to say about Batman Arkham Knight in 2026 now. If you did enjoy this video, then let me know by tapping that like button down below, and if you enjoy single player and also multiplayer games as well, then that's what this channel does focus on. I have many playlists on a selection of games, so you can subscribe to the channel if you'd like to. You can support me any further by becoming a member of the channel at either level 1 or 2 to gain access to various perks. Thank you all for the support and watching until the very end. That was Arkham Knight in 2026, and yes, if you were wondering, it's still definitely worth it to this day, and I think it always will be. And bye bye.